Part 24. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 231. Qi Guanqi was very happy when he left Mingkong Island. Such an alchemy genius came to their realm, and both sides had the same purpose. He said to Lu Yu, "It seems that your father guessed right, they may have come from other places, and that place is controlled by Changxianmen, so they have a bad impression of Changxianmen, which is there. Most of Bian did something outrageous." When Lu Yu thought of the guy who forced the marriage, her brows were cold and angry. The Changxianmen still prides themselves on being upright, but what is the difference between their usual behavior and the evil ways? But Uncle Qi, you are very optimistic about them. In Lu Yu's view, the four cultivators are still too young. Although they are among the best among their peers, there is still nascent soul on top of Jindan. Even if they differ by a small rank, they will be turned upside down. Change, how many years will it take for these four to reach that point, and they may have been found by Changxianmen to be chased and blocked in these years. What will they do then? Qi Guanqi sighed, look at it for a while, some things always have to be done by someone. If you are afraid of the strength of Changxianmen and don't do anything, you will never be able to change the situation. Facing any challenge, the heart will flow straight up. By the way, let's not talk about this. What do you think they will give to the city lord as a gift? Before leaving, Gu Yao took out a box, saying it was a gift for city lord Lu, and asked them to hand it over on his behalf. The jade box was sealed, so they couldn't open it to check it, and they couldn't use their divine sense to penetrate it. Manager Qi was very curious. At the level of nascent soul, but very few things can catch the eye. Lu Yu suddenly became excited. Uncle Qi, do you think it's what my mother has been looking for? No way. Qi Yi couldn't believe it in his heart. After all, who would get that thing and wouldn't keep it on him? The critical moment is equivalent to one more life, so the problem now is that no one on the mainland has it, but everyone is hiding it and refusing to take it out. Of course, there are also forces from all parties who have joined forces to deliberately suppress Beihe City. Although they couldn't believe it in their hearts, the two still accelerated their speed and returned to the city lord's mansion, and went to see City Lord Lu as soon as possible. City Lord Lu was talking to Zhang Qianfeng, and he was also talking about official business in Beihe City. Butler Lu, who had received Gu Yao and the others before, was also there. Seeing Qi Yi and Lu Yu rush in a little recklessly, they both stopped and looked at them. It is rare to see Qi Yi so rude. What's the matter? City Lord Lu asked. She is a very attractive woman. She doesn't look aggressive, but people can't ignore her existence. City Lord Lu is a single spirit root of the water system, so she makes her whole body as soft as water. But has the strongest side. Qi Yi found that he was influenced by Lu Yu, and he really regarded the contents in the jade box as the treasure. He couldn't help but feel ashamed and said, "You and I have just returned from Mingkong Island, went to visit Alchemist Yao and the others. When Alchemy Yao asked us to bring a gift, he said it was for the city lord." Qi Yi offered the jade box with both hands as she spoke, while Lu Yu urged her mother to open it quickly and see what it was. Her expectations hadn't faded, so her face was a little red. Before Zhang Qianfeng's words were finished, the jade box had already been taken into the hands of City Lord Lu, and the seal outside had been broken. This seal was not strong in the first place, and it was only a loyal gentleman like Qi Yi who was blocked. To guard against villains. A lively scent of elixir floated out, and Director Lu stood up from his seat excitedly, and the elixir was no longer in the box. The first time he found this elixir, it was taken into the hands of City Lord Lu, and he was always calm. She was so self-confident that her heart was also fluctuating at this moment. Lim supplement Dan. City Lord Liu's voice sounded in the room. Zhang Qianfeng knocked over the teacup in his hand to the ground, and tried every means to get the limb supplement pill that he couldn't ask for, but now it was delivered to their eyes. When Zhang Qianfeng knew that he had no hope of Ningying, he had never been so rude. He had planned to spend the rest of his time with his Taoist companion and his daughter. When Xiaoyuan was about to end, he would leave alone, but City Lord Lu and his men never gave up searching. Qi Yi's hands trembled, but he didn't expect that he really brought back a limb extension pill, which he used to hold just now. If he knew it was a limb extension pill, he would definitely be more religious. And it's a top-grade limb extension pill. With this pill, Qianfeng, you are sure that you will recover well? City Lord Liu's excited and distressed voice sounded again. Really? Zhang Qianfeng finally stood up, and City Lord Liu held the medicinal pill in the palm of his hand and sent it to Zhang Qianfeng. Now everyone saw the true face of the supplemental limb pill. It was really a top-quality pill. It was too unexpected for them, and the ecstasy came too suddenly. Lu Yu let out a sob, she wept with joy, and she was finally able to let go of the complexity of her stress. If she could use her own life in exchange for her father's recovery and congeal the baby, she would be willing, but her father also told her plainly that even if he ate the medicinal pill in exchange for her to recover, he would not be able to congeal the baby. He would die under the inner demons of transcending the calamity, so Lu Yu no longer dared to think like this. Sometimes Lu Yu also hates herself. Could it be that if they didn't take a fancy to her, her mother would be able to get the medicine pill from Chang Xianmen through other methods? So sometimes I get into the horns and feel that I have implicated my father. Now I finally have a better life-saving medicine. The heavy pepper that was pressing on my heart was immediately removed, and the spiritual energy on my body suddenly surged, which alarmed the other people in the room. City Lord Lu and Zhang Qianfeng knew at a glance that she was going to. I was promoted, from the early stage of Jindan to the middle stage of Jindan. This silly girl. Zhang Qianfeng put down his excitement and stroked his daughter's head. I'm about to break through. If you don't find a place to retreat, my father will wait for you to exit. Lu Yu only found out about her condition after reminding her. She cried and laughed, quickly wiped her tears, turned around and walked out. I'm going to retreat, and I'll be out soon. City Lord Lu said with a smile, you don't have to worry, your father also needs to adjust his body. She knew that her daughter wanted to watch her father recover with his own eyes. Because of this interruption, the emotions of several people finally calmed down a lot. City Lord Lu put the medicinal pill back in the jade box and pushed it in front of Zhang Qianfeng to let him put it away. No matter how big this gift is, she should not accept it according to the courtesy, but she is not. This is the most irresistible thing for her to resist, so she would rather make up for it afterwards and let Qianfeng accept it. Zhang Qianfeng glanced at her, knowing her determination, nodded and put it away. Qi Yi and Lu Guanqi were also very excited. The curative effect of the top-grade limb rejuvenation pill was more than several times that of the low-grade limb rejuvenation pill, which would definitely restore Zhang Qianfeng to the best condition. Guanqi Lu said, it's a top-quality pill again. Could it be that alchemist Yao made it by himself? Does he have the main medicine for refining the limbs? Qi Yi also thought of this. It's very possible. I think alchemist Yao and that Chang Dao friends seem to be very casual about the gifts they send, and it is not something they are in short supply if they want to come here. Zhang Qianfeng is in a much brighter mood, because he has the limb supplement pill, and his future has many possibilities. I can't say that, even if they don't lack it, it doesn't mean they don't know the value of this pill. Especially in this, they also took a huge risk to let those outside forces know that their situation would be very dangerous. By the way, Qi Shi, what did you and Yuer say when they went to see alchemist Yao? Being reminded like this, Qi Yi slapped himself on the head and almost left other equally important things behind. He quickly took out 2 pill recipes and explained the relationship between Qing Chen pill and spirit quenching pill. There was an original guess. And this limb supplement pill as a base, this situation is not so unexpected to Lu Chenzu and his wife. But there is still admiration and appreciation. As long as alchemist Yao is given time, he will definitely grow into the most powerful alchemist on Qinhao continent. This pill recipe is very different from the usual one. It should be the style of pill master Yao alone. Li Qi really ruined his own future for this vanity. In order to heal Taoist companions, City Lord Lu has also done a lot of research on medicinal pills and medical Tao. It is easy to see the distinctive personal characteristics of this pill, as well as the deep medicinal skills of the developer, especially the second one, which is obviously better than the first one. Zhang has made great progress. According to the information obtained from the investigation, City Lord Ge can infer that the first pill recipe should have been taken by Yao alchemist who was in the foundation building stage, but Li Qi, who is a golden elixir, wanted to steal the results of the foundation building alchemist. Zhang Qianfeng knocked on his forehead. I remembered, there are not a few new wanted lists on the Changxianmen realm, two of them seem to be very similar to Yao Danqi. Qi Yi immediately went to call up a wanted list with images of people on it. Beihe City was in business. Of course, he had to be smart and well informed, so of course he would get a copy of such a wanted list, and he would even get one. Investigate the identity and origin of the wanted person. If it is not a wicked person, they will even secretly rescue the person. Such a person is likely to become one of the secret connections in Beihe City. But not all of them can be found. The latest batch does have some inexplicable places, but Changxianmen did not say what they did or where they were, but they were wanted in the whole country, and they were in contact with Changxianmen. Such a wanted list also appears in the good sphere of influence. Zhang Qianfeng pointed out the above two people at a glance. Look, are they these two people? Their characteristics are that one is a Lei Jiangziu and the other is an alchemist. Looking at their names, one is Qi Changjai and the other is Gu Yao. Isn't that Daoist Changya and Dan Master Yao? Lu Guanqi shouted with a fist slap on the palm of his hand. Yeah, Zhang Qianfeng laughed, seeing these two names makes people more convinced that they are alchemist Yao and fellow Daoist Changya. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 232. Lu Yu retreated and advanced. Zhang Qianfeng put down all the affairs in his hand, concentrated on conditioning his body, and prepared for taking the supplement pill. City Lord Lu didn't do anything, even if Zhang Qianfeng hadn't taken the medicine pill to heal his body, but this medicine pill was very valuable, so she opened the private store of the city owner's mansion and discussed with the two of them to send it. What are they, but they can still give Ili and Qi Guanqi, and they don't know what to give. Limb supplement Dan is valuable, but the love of giving charcoal in the snow is priceless, not to mention that it is equivalent to saving Lu Chenzu's family of 3 and them. These monks who live in the city lord's mansion, so the more cautious they are, the more they don't know how to choose. Seeing these two subordinates like this, City Lord Lu couldn't help laughing and laughing. She was in a good mood now, so she decided to say, well, let's send some rare spirit grasses and spirit stones over here first. Besides, it's better to let Alchemy Yao come by himself. There are a lot of items that cannot be identified, maybe Yao Danshi's smart eyes can identify them. Over the years, City Lord Lu often concealed his identity and went to various dangerous relics, and naturally brought out a lot of things from it. That's fine, I'll go and deliver it to Alchemist Yao in person. Although they may have ripped off the vests of the 4, they still called it that in a tacit understanding, not to pierce it. In addition, Qi Guanqi also took a batch of spiritual materials, which can be used for refining equipment, refining arrays and making talismans. When people on Mingkong Island go out to buy items, they can know what they are used for only by paying attention to them. As a result, Director Qi had a misunderstanding, and he became more and more convinced that these 4 people were 1 in 10,000 talents, carefully cultivated with the resources of the whole world, and specially prepared for Changxianmen, so all 4 of them were geniuses, and they were also different from each other. Have strengths. Then Guanqi Qi came with 2 full storage rings. Tian Firong received him very warmly. Looking at his smiling face, Guanxi had some expectations in his heart, hoping that these people could really stir up the blood in Changxianmen. In front of Guyao and Qi Changjai, Director Qi put down the 2 storage rings, indicating that it was the return gift from City Lord Lu. Qi Changjai didn't check what was in the storage ring on the spot, but if he could hold 2 storage rings, it meant that the gift was quite generous, and he didn't ask City Lord Lu when he would take the extended limb pill after taking it, he was just polite. Thank you very much, and of course I won't push it back in return. Seeing that the 2 of them accepted it, the smile on Qi Guanxi's face became more and more sincere. If the 2 refused to accept it, he would have to worry about it, and it would also make Lu Chenzu and Zhang Jianfeng fall into a knot. City Lord Lu asked me to thank Alchemist Yao for his generous gifts. These reciprocal gifts are not enough to express City Lord Liu's gratitude. City Lord Lu said, ask Alchemy Yao to go to the private vault of the City Lord's mansion, and let Alchemy Yao choose another item from the private vault. Gu Yao is a little bit different, this time the gift is too heavy, to open his private library to him to choose. You must know that some treasures are likely to be worth hundreds of thousands of middle-grade spirit stones, and even some treasures cannot be measured with spirit stones. He is not sure that there will be no good things in the private storehouse of the City Lord's mansion. Gu Yao looked at Qi Changjai, Qi Changjai nodded lightly, and Gu Yao replied, it's better to be respectful than to obey, please thank the City Lord for my love. Manager Qi saw this interaction in his eyes and laughed, then why don't we go now, and finish the selection early to save me from worrying about this matter, and also want to see Yao Danqi's eyesight. Gu Yao smiled and said, okay. Tian Firong and Little Fatty stayed behind, and Gu Yao and Qi Changjai went with Steward Qi. Of course, the private treasury of the City Lord's mansion was guarded at various levels, and various formations were prohibited. Can't force entry. After passing through layers of checkpoints to the front of a heavy gate, Manager Qi solemnly took out a token and placed the token in a groove on the door. Immediately, both the token and the stone gate released light and reflected each other, and then the stone gate, the rumbling sound of the opening sounded. Director Qi brought Gu Yao inside, and Qi Changjai stayed outside Shimin. As soon as he entered the private vault, Gu Yao felt that he was about to be blinded by various auras. Su Chen also joined in the fun to watch, and from time to time he told Gu Yao what the treasure in front of him was, and many things were despised by Su Chen. Gu Yao was blinded at first, and then walked calmly in front of the rows of shelves. He thought he had obtained the best treasure, which is the space where the Pill Pavilion and Pill Pavilion are located. What else is there? Are treasures more attractive to alchemists than the Alchemy Pavilion? Oh, to say that it is still very attractive to alchemists, it belongs to the strange fire, but it is not easy to have a strange fire that can help alchemy. Yan, and Tian Firong's own Qinjian, although they are weak now, they are all genuine fires, and they will grow up to extraordinary power in the future. Gu Yao listened to Su Chen's explanation and compared the relevant introduction in his book. He had to say that he opened his eyes a second time. Guanxi paid attention to Gu Yao's expression and found that there was no greed in his eyes. Can't help but praise him for his kindness at such a young age, no wonder he can achieve such achievements at such an age. Gu Yao didn't rush to choose, but wanted to take a look at it first. If it didn't help him, he would choose something useful for Qi Changjai or Tian Firong. Stopped involuntarily and looked at the pile of debris in the corner that caused the induction. What's wrong? Did you find something good? Su Chen asked curiously. It was really lucky that this guy outside was lucky, otherwise the Pill Pavilion would not have fallen into his hands. Seeing this, Guanxi explained, the items here are either indistinguishable or damaged. The city owner looked at it and kept it in. If someone can repair it, it will be considered a great achievement. He watched Gu Yao stop here, and couldn't help but wonder, could it be that Gu Yao found something good? Gu Yao followed his own feelings and stretched out his hand to list one thing, which was extremely ordinary, and that was a stone ball, but Guyao felt that there was something in the stone ball that attracted him, and even the spiritual energy in his danchan was a little ready to move. Qi Guanqi couldn't help shaking his eyes. When was this stone ball placed? He knocked on the forehead. Oh, I remembered that it was brought back by the city lord outside. Even the city lord couldn't break the stone outside. He felt that this thing must be extraordinary, so he put it in the private library. At first, some people were interested in it, digging out the secrets inside, but no one succeeded, so they put it in the corner and fell ashes. Alchemist Yao, what is this? What? Director Qi asked curiously, wondering what the secret was that no one had been able to solve. Guyao, quickly transfer your spiritual power into the stone, Su Chen reminded in the space. Guyao did not hesitate to do as Su Chen said, and while inputting his spiritual power, he answered Qi Guanqi, I don't know, but I feel that there is something in it that attracts me, maybe I will know soon. Guyao's face was a little red, because once the spiritual power was sent in, there was no way to stop it. This stone was like a big stomach king, devouring his spiritual power in dissatisfaction, and green and red spirits gradually revealed on the stone ball. Qi Guanqi was very surprised. Seeing this, he immediately activated the ban on this side to prevent spiritual power from rioting. Guyao asked Su Chen while sending his spiritual power, Senior, what is in this? How much spiritual power does it take to stop it? Su Chen was really jealous of Guyao's luck, and said in a sour tone that if I guessed correctly, there is probably a strange fire hidden in it. Have you heard the name of Liang Xinhua? Oh my god, Guyao was so shocked that he almost threw the stone ball out, but the fact is that the stone ball is now sticking to his hand, and he couldn't get rid of the lotus fire even if he wanted to throw it away. There is no alchemy master who matches the dual attributes of wood and fire more than this peculiar fire. Of course, not all alchemists have the dual attributes of wood and fire, and only one of them can make up for it. Guyao Qiankui took a futon and sat down, focused on inputting his spiritual power, and prepared a medicinal pill to replenish his spiritual power, so he was not prepared for it. Su Chen was even more sour, and said, it's just a dead lotus fire, even if you can activate it with your spiritual power, this lotus fire is very weak. It's not easy to feed it. Xiao blames it very much, it doesn't eat bad things, it chooses the good ones. Guyao twitched the corners of his mouth, how can you get good things without paying a price? Senior, I still don't know if City Lord Lu is willing to send it after knowing that this is Lian Xinhua. Su Chen cut, I have eaten your spiritual power, who will I go if I don't go with you? Guyao is embarrassed now, the lotus heart fire is really very heavy, even if it is the dead lotus heart fire that Su Chen said, but it can be heard that it is not completely dead, otherwise how can it be activated? He looked up at Director Qi and said, I may have guessed what this place is. You really don't regret sending me, Director Qi? Qi Guanqi asked curiously, what is it? Guyao's dual purpose, have you heard of lotus heart fire? It's half dead. It's better to find a cultivator with dual attributes of wood and fire to subdue and activate this strange fire, otherwise it will be too late. Qi Guanqi's heart skipped a beat. Anyone who knows about the different fire knows that the lotus fire, especially the alchemist with the dual attributes of wood fire, is even more powerful. It's a pity that this stone ball is stored in the private library. For a long time, no one revealed its true face, and Alchemy Yao bumped into it as soon as it arrived. He thinks it is better for Guyao to get this strange fire. None of the alchemists enshrined in the city lord's mansion can compare to Guyao, and Guyao has more potential than them. He won't forget the goodness of the city lord's mansion when he gets this strange fire. However, he had to ask the city lord about this first, so he said offended first, and then left the private storehouse. The layers of defense in the private storehouse could not be communicated to the outside world, so he had to go out first before contacting the city lord, and followed him outside. Qi Changjai explained the situation, and there was a hint of joy in Chi Changai's eyes. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 233. Director Chi reported the news to the City Lord. City Lord Lu himself was also paying attention to the movement here. After listening to the incident, she also read it in a different way. She also read the memory for a long time. Sure enough, the treasure has to be obtained by fate. If you can't meet the right person, you can only get dust in the corner. City Lord Lu quickly flashed many thoughts in his mind, but it was only for a moment, and he replied that as long as Alchemist Yao was satisfied, it belonged to Alchemist Yao. Yes, City Lord, I will tell Yao Danchi, Director Chi, to collect the messenger and return it to the private vault. Gu Yao took 2 pills to replenish spiritual power, and the stance of desperately swallowing spiritual power slowed down. Gu Yao breathed a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that he would not be able to activate it if he was drained. In front of Director Chi, the full stone ball crackled for a while, and the outer stone shell shattered and fell off. The flame, however, is only the size of the fingertips, like a wind, fire, and candle, and it seems to be extinguished at any time. Seeing that the small flame swayed a few times, Gu Yao and Chi Guanqi felt their hearts were raised, for fear that it would go out in the next moment. However, the next moment, the small lotus-shaped flame flew into Gu Yao's body, plunged into his danshan, and stayed beside the golden core. Nourished by the spiritual power in the golden core, the colors seemed to be a little brighter. Although Guanxi was a little disappointed, he felt that this was the best result, and clasped his fists and said, "Congratulations to Alchemist Yao for receiving the Lotus Heart Fire." Where, Mr. Chi is being polite. Without Mr. Chi and City Lord Lu, I wouldn't have been able to meet Lian Xinhuo. Gu Yao said gratefully, "This gift is too generous." If City Lord Lu had seen the true face of Lian Xinhuo earlier, maybe the value of Bai Jinglian's heart fire is even greater if he can rely on this strange fire to exchange for a limb-continuing pill from a certain alchemist or a certain force. He can't help but remember this kind of favor, but it's not just the meaning of returning the gift. Manager Chi smiled and invited Gu Yao to go out of the private warehouse together, and joined Chi Changjai, who was guarding outside. The two said goodbye to Manager Chi and returned to Mingkong Island hand in hand. As soon as he returned to Mingkong Island, Gu Yao went into seclusion. It was really too weak for this Lotus Heart Fire, and he had to make up for it as soon as possible to stabilize it. As Su Chen said, Lotus Heart Fire is more delicate than other exotic fires, and the items that nourish it are all natural treasures of the wood fire attribute. They originally had 2 storage rings sent by Chi Guanqi that could be used. They were all searched out, and then Gu Yao sent a list out, all of which Su Chen told him to help Liang Xinhuo. Tian Firong and the little fat man went out to the island to buy some, and scattered a lot of spiritual stones before Kankan stabilized the Lotus Heart Fire. A piece of wood pith stone turned into dust in Gu Yao's hand. Gu Yao felt a little pain in his eyes. Su Chen was more happy now. Haha, this is just starting, and it is still far from the growth of Lotus Heart Fire, so you have to take good care of yourself. Work hard to earn spirit stones, and then you can afford this strange fire. Gu Yao grinning, this schadenfreude guy. Zi Bao Bao will work hard to farm and earn spirit stones for my brother. Another immature voice sounded, making Su Chen's laughter of schadenfreude stop in the summer, but Gu Yao stretched his brows. It's still baby Zizi who is carrying. He doesn't look like a certain guy, he's disrespectful. Fortunately, the large sum of spirit stone flowers went out, and it was not without harvest. In addition to the stabilization of the Lotus Heart Fire, the energy it filtered out was also very large, and it just pushed Gu Yao's cultivation to the middle stage of Jindan. When Gu Yao left the customs, the first thing he saw was of course Chi Changjai. The news of Gu Yao's promotion also alerted him outside, but now he is still happy for Gu Yao when he sees it. but will also give back to its owner in the process of raising it. After taking a dip in the hot spring, and having a big meal, Guyao only cared about the situation outside. Tianfirong and Little Fatty also retreated when Guyao was promoted. They can't be too far behind. City Lord Lu was promoted to the middle stage of Jindan, and she also practiced water-based exercises, but apart from this, no other news has come out. After listening to Qi Changjai's words, Guyao understood it seems that City Lord Lu and fellow deist Zhang don't want to let other people know. People know that they have obtained the limb supplement pill, and there is hope for recovery. It is also right to do so. There are some secretive people who are staring at Beihai City. They should be cautious. If the news of the top-grade limb supplement pill leaks out, it is estimated that there will be many cultivators took risks to it, which also made Guyao aware of the importance of the limb supplement pill. When it was first refined, he still thought that if he lacked the spirit stone, he would hide his identity and auction one. It should be able to. He has collected a lot of spirit stones, but now it seems that he thinks it too simply, and he will hide the continuation of the limbs more tightly in the future. Well, don't shoot the follow-up pill in the future. Qi Changjai also thought of the same situation, and said specially. Guyao nodded, but she was still in a good mood. Because of the transaction with the city lord's mansion, and when Qi Changjai took the spirit stone out to collect the things to feed the lotus heart fire, Qi Guanqi and Lu Guanqi, including the city owner Lu Xiao, helped a lot, so they are close in private. Little, of course, there are also people from the city lord's mansion who specially made friends. Guyao was originally good at alchemy, but now with the help of Liang Xinhuo, he will take it to the next level in the future. Alchemist. So now with Guyao, an alchemist who is destined to shine, neither Yugong nor Private can miss this opportunity to be close to the water tower, so the three of them often run to Mingkong Island, except for the first time. Later Lu Yu, when she arrived on the island, she didn't hide her appearance anymore. In fact, the first time, Guyao and Qi Changjai also vaguely guessed her identity, because when she mentioned City Lord Lu and her father, her expression changed completely. One day, Lu Yu came over and said excitedly, "My father's arm has grown out. It's really all right. Alchemist Yao, thank you so much. By the way, I said that my father is not in Beihai City now, right?" Guyao smiled and said, "Congratulations, and congratulations to Daiyu Zhang's recovery." Lu Yu's cheeks were blushing. "If it wasn't for the help of Alchemist Yao, I don't know when my father would have had such a chance. If it wasn't for the influence of this injury, my father would have been congealed a long time ago. My mother said that my father's qualifications were no worse than my mother's. So this time my father went to retreat outside and would not come back until Ningying." Guyao also felt that it would be better to be more cautious. When Beihai City had two nascent soul seniors in charge, the strength would be greatly increased, and the status of the city lord's mansion would be more stable. Then ask Yao Dan to make auspicious words. Lu Yu smiled generously. She likes to talk and chat with Guyao, but she is hit by cold air from time to time. Lu Yu smiled in her heart, seeing Qi Changjai's cold face is really interesting. Now things have improved, and she has regained a little bit of playfulness. Zhang Daiyu is not in the city lord's mansion. City Lord Lu Xiao should be in the city lord's mansion. In case the news is leaked, can City Lord Lu Xiao afford it? Qi Changjai's cold voice sounded in Lu Yu's ears, causing the smile on her face to stagnate. This guy, who doesn't use such a name to drive people away, would be a sinner if she didn't leave. Lu Yu gritted her teeth in her heart, but said goodbye to Guyao with a smile on her face. After sending off City Lord Lu Xiao, Guyao turned around and stared at Qi Changjai. "I heard from Steward Qi that young City Lord had been under a lot of pressure before, and felt that Beihai City was facing a lot of pressure. The pressure is all brought by her, so the cultivation base has not progressed for a long time after conjuring the pill, and now I finally get rid of it. You still say that to her?" Qi Changjai hooked his lips and said, "Don't worry, She is a Jindan cultivator, and she still has the ability to bear it psychologically. Otherwise, how can she take over the city lord's mansion in the future? And now is really not the time to be careless, so I kindly remind her. Guyao rolled his eyes. He wouldn't believe that Chi Changjai reminded him out of kindness. But later, City Lord Lu Xiao did as Chi Changjai said. He was more interested in the city lord's mansion, and he had less time to run to Mingkong Island. Because Lu Yu knew that her mother was not here to go to her father from time to time. If her father successfully condensed the baby, her mother would stay there to protect her father's law. Of course, this matter will not be publicized to the outside world. Outsiders think that City Lord Lu is still sitting in Beihai City, so the young City Lord and the confidants of the City Lord must do a good job of covering up, so that people can't see the difference. The Qing Chen pill or the upgraded version of the spirit quenching pill has not been released yet. If you want to come to the City Lord's mansion, you are also waiting for the best time, such as the return of Zhang Qi and Fen Ningying. Tian Firong and Little Fatty's cultivation has also progressed smoothly to the middle stage of Jindan. The two of them felt that in addition to their persistent cultivation, they were also inseparable from the refining of weapons and the study of the formation method. Guyao and Chi Changjai both agree that they will continue to study these two skills, so they have purchased a lot of related books through Jianfeng Pavilion. The executive cabinet sold it out, and it was a little bit of money. Tian Firong was suddenly promoted because he made a spirit tool. After the promotion, he said that maybe he was too excited. After the promotion, his success rate of refining a spirit tool was much more stable. Even if it was a low-grade spirit tool, it was better than a magic weapon. The price is much higher, just as the rank 7 refiners are much higher than the 8th grade refiners. As for the little fat man, he made a breakthrough in the formation technique after he was promoted. After all, he started to study it later, so the speed of promotion in formation technique was much slower than Tian Firong. After the promotion, he plunged into the training room and vowed make a batch of 7th rank array flags that are useful to everyone. When you fight with people, you can throw a gold array, but then throw out a stack of magic talismans to bombard it, and see how many golds there are. Cultivator Dan can handle it. Such a wonderful prospect made the little fat man almost crazy and fell into the study of the formation technique and the production of the formation plate. Tian Firong went to see him once and was startled by his two rabbit-like red eyes, but the two rabbit eyes it was full of excitement. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 234. When Tian Firong was talking to Guyao and Chi Changjai about how mad the little fat man was, the little fat man ran over with his hair disheveled, his face full of excitement. Even Guyao was startled. The little fat man looked like he was going crazy. I succeeded. Little fatty didn't understand other people's feelings at all, and danced and announced his results. I really succeeded. The 4 elephants killing array, a 4 elephants killing array specially designed according to the situation of the 4 of us. Guyao hurriedly brewed him spirit tea and took out spirit fruits and snacks, and asked him to take a slow breath and say slowly, "This time the spirit tea has the effect of clearing the mind," and Guyao felt that it was especially suitable for the little fat man in the current state. The little fat man dunked a big cup, and even ate 2 spiritual fruits with abundant spiritual energy. The state seemed to ease a little, but he still excitedly took out a stack of array plates and told everyone about the principles and effects of the 4-image array. The Qinhao continent is different from the Tianlin continent. There are too many monks and other creatures who can threaten their lives, so the little fat man thought about how to use the formation to greatly improve the combat power of the 4 of them, and now he has finally gained something. With the little fat man's explanation, even Tian Firong didn't laugh at him anymore. It sounded pretty good. Little Fatty modified the 4 elephants killing formation according to the characteristics of the 4 of them, forming an aggressive killing array with Chi Changjai's sword energy as the main, and then the 4 attributes of thunder, wood, fire, and earth as supplements. The power of the array is 5 to 10 times higher than that of the usual killing array of this type. Tianfirong touched his chin and said, "It sounds very good. It not only retains his personal characteristics, but also uses the formation to improve his attack power." The little fat man looked at Gu Yao and the three of them, including Qi Changjai, with interested eyes, and his face was slightly red. He finally came out of the state of madness. The power of the 4-elephant killing array can only be used by the 4 of us together, and it belongs to the unity of the human formation. That's right, you can direct us what you want to do, and complete the 4 elephants killing formation as soon as possible. Qi Changjai thumped his voice, although the current life in Beihe City looked calm, but he had a faint feeling that a dark tide was coming. So things that can increase one's strength now are good. Oh, all right, the little fat man nodded stupidly, and immediately returned to his senses after being tapped by Tianfirong, but he was very serious when he was doing things, and his whole person was full of a confident look. The little fat man really worked hard, Gu Yao secretly said in his heart, seeing that his fighting power is a little weaker among the 4, so there is a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and now he has finally found his position, so the whole person is also full of self-confidence. Because Tianfirong is a cultivator of Yanyan, he is the master of fire, and Gu Yao is the master of wood. His lotus heart fire is far less powerful than Qingjian. Fatty and Qi Changjai do not need to choose, they will instill the spiritual power they have cultivated into the array. Among them, Qi Changjai's sword Qi was finally added, and the 4 elephants killing formation finally took shape. It can be said that the original 4 elephants killing array just passed the 7th rank, but now the 4-man formation is instilled, and if they enter the array themselves to control, this array may be able to reach the 7th rank. The extent to which he was only one step away from entering rank 6 was truly astonishing. In the next time, the 4 of them put aside their respective training, and used the 4 elephants killing array to practice, training each other's tacit understanding, so that the 4 elephants killing array could exert the greatest power, and the main team was the strongest late. It's been a long night, and when he mobilizes the power of the entire formation, he can raise his power to the golden core. Hearing someone calling the door outside, the 4 walked out of the formation. Qi Changjai put away the 4 elephants killing formation, saw the people coming outside, and opened the protective formation to let them in. It was one of Steward Liu's subordinates who came, and when he saw Gu Yao's 4 people hurriedly saying what he wanted, it was Steward Liu who asked him to make a special trip to tell them something. Someone came to our Beihe City and secretly inquired about the whereabouts of the seniors, especially focusing on inquiring if there are any alchemists with particularly good alchemy skills have come to our Beihe City recently. Manager Liu specially asked his subordinates to come over and talk to the 4 seniors. Manager Liu suspected that it was Difeng of Tailuimen who wanted to find the trouble of several seniors. Finally found it? The 4 of them made such a voice at the same time. In fact, it has been a long time. The reason is probably related to the reason that Gu Yao did not sell the medicinal pills publicly after he came here. The government did not flow out, and this concealed their whereabouts until now. They had heard from Steward Liu and the young city master before that there were people in the nearby towns looking for their whereabouts. Presumably they searched all around and couldn't find them, so they focused their attention on Beihe City. This guy is really haunted, he won't stop until he finds us, Tianfirong said. It's really troublesome. If you don't get rid of this guy, people will stare at them wherever they go. It's the special environment of Beihe City's islands in the lake that makes them stable and has not been harassed until now. Qi Changjai pondered for a while and said, "Thank you, my fellow deist, for telling me. In addition, we have one more thing to ask for help with Mr. Liu. If possible, Mr. Liu can help us to find out where Difeng is currently. We don't need the exact location, just a rough idea." "Good location. Okay, my subordinates must pass on Liu stewards on their behalf, then my subordinates will say goodbye first." Gu Yao sent the person away in the future and gave him a bottle of medicinal pills. The guest was overjoyed. They were actually quite happy to run errands for the boss. It is really good that Yao Donji's medicinal pills are too good, and they also regret these people. It's impossible to stay in Beihai City all the time, so whoever gets the medicinal pill will hide it again and again. After a while, the city lord Lu Xiao also sent a summons. Obviously, she also knew about this, and asked Gu Yao what he needed from the city lord's mansion. "Brother Qi, what are we going to do next? Are we leaving here?" Tian Firong asked. Although it was really good here, he also had a hunch that it would soon be unstable. First, Di Feng appeared, and then Zhang Qi and Feng might successfully congeal the baby. Their identities may be exposed, and if they stay here, even if they are sheltered by the city lord's mansion, they will probably lead to endless harassment. Qi Changjai glanced at Gu Yao, nodded to them and said, "Yes, be ready to leave at any time, just wait until Di Feng's whereabouts are found out, just in time to test the power of the four elephants killing formation, let him be the sacrifice formation." The little fat man got excited when he heard it, and was going to test the power of his formation. Of course he was happy. Gu Yao then reported their decision to City Lord Lu Xiao. Lu Yu and Steward Lu were staying together, and told the result to Steward Lu, and Steward Lu sighed, "Young City Lord, this is an inevitable result, and I heard one thing, that is, Muan, who has enmity with Yao Donji and the others, seems to have been in contact with people from Changxianmen recently, so it is a very wise choice for them to decide to leave at this time. Instead of waiting until the mountains and rivers are exhausted to find a way to go now, the initiative is still in their hands, hide themselves in the dark, and buy more time to improve themselves." Lu Yu also knows this truth. It is rare to meet someone who can talk to her and let her let go of her identity, and she is leaving now, a little reluctant. "You are right, Mr. Lu, they have their way to go, there is also my way to go, but I still hope that after they leave, our people will not cut off contact with them." Guanxi Lu and Guanxi Qi nodded in agreement. This is what they want to see. Of course, the city lord's mansion has connections outside, and this is what Gu Yao and the others lack the most. Gu Yao also has what they need. Yao's alchemy technique, as well as Qi Changjai's strength. As long as a few Qi Changjai grow up in the future, Beihai City can also have a powerful foreign aid. Soon the city lord's mansion sent Gu Yao the information they needed, and there was a token along with the information. With this token, Gu Yao and the others could get help in some places. Qi Changjai quietly put it away. People expressed their gratitude. Afterwards, the four of them put away their belongings without a moment's delay, dispersed in twos, turned into ordinary cultivators and left Beihai City, and converged near the location of Di Feng that was found out. After they left, the city lord's mansion closed Mingkong Island. When the four of Gu Yao came back, the island was still left to them. This was to treat it as a private island, and the city lord's mansion was only taken care of when the owner was away. Di Feng is not far from Beihai City at this moment. The prosperity of Beihai City has also driven the surrounding areas to form large and small market towns. Di Feng is now in a small town. After Heffenja was accidentally injured by Qi Changjai, he thought it would take 2 days to recover. Unexpectedly, the sword energy that had penetrated into his body was not so easy to expel. Destroy. Originally, he was just playing as a mouse, but Di Feng didn't take these people seriously, but now he hates these four people. No matter what, he must find them out, torture them severely, and then kill them, otherwise inexplicable hatred. Originally, he was a narrow-minded person who would pay revenge, but this time he was hurt by the mice that he didn't take seriously, and it was time to get rid of them. "Uncle Shi," someone knocked on the door and came in to report, someone was sent into Beihai City, and now it is reported that there is no alchemist selling top-grade and top-grade pills in Beihai City. Could it be that they did not enter Beihai City at all? Is the news from Uncle Mu also true? Are they the people on the wanted list of Changxianmen? Originally, Difeng was a little angry at Muan, but this incident was caused by Muan at the root, which made him lose a lot of face. Originally, after Difeng recovered from the injury, he decided to find something for Muan to do to save money. He turned his attention to himself, but then Muan sent him a message that these four were actually cultivators wanted by Chang Xianmen. The wanted order, Difeng, was also recruited. According to the description above, there is indeed a high possibility that the people wanted by Chang Xianmen might have a lot of secrets on them, so Difeng decided to arrest them. After that, first torture them to dig out the secrets in their mouths, as to whether they are going to be handed over to Chang Xianmen. Difeng said that as a disciple of Tailuimen, he did not take Chang Xianmen seriously, especially when he was compared with Yan Yuanjing of Chang Xianmen, which made him even less fond of Chang Xianmen. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 235. Difeng said with a gloomy face that all these medicinal pills fell into the hands of the city lord's mansion. How are you going to check to find out? Humph, do something useless, go, send someone directly to the city lord's mansion to ask. This subordinate is just a foundation building, and he is under pressure when facing Jindan, not to mention nascent soul. Thinking that there is a nascent soul cultivator in the city lord's mansion of Beihe City, he has stage fright before he takes action. Will city lord Lu agree? Humph, it's just a stinky guarding the crippled. That has offended the head of Chang Xianmen, and dare to show us Tailuimen's face again? Go directly with my ID card, who shall I see? Dare to stop, Difeng said sharply. To tell the truth, he was envious of Beihe City. The reason why he was persuaded by Muan to stare at Guyao was not because they had a lot of spirit stones and good medicine pills on them, and they were very close to Guyao and the others. Compared with Beihe City, it is a coveted cornucopia, and whoever owns the city represents an endless supply of spiritual stones. It's just that his current strength is not enough. If he condenses the baby, will the girls be his opponents? At that time, it is not impossible to give it a try. You must know that the higher the cultivation, the greater the demand for resources. This is like a bottomless pit, and it will never be filled. Yes, this subordinate will take a trip in person, and it will definitely satisfy my uncle. This foundation building cultivator thought about it too. Difeng is the disciple of the elder Yuanying, so how can Beihe City not give face? If he offends the two sects in a row, will City Lord Lu still be able to keep Beihe City? Outside the town, the four of Guyao met, and then entered the town at night. This is a settlement formed spontaneously, so no one maintains order. Whoever is stronger has the right to speak, and the highest cultivation base here is only Jindan. Since Difeng came here, he is completely here. Under control. Their arrival did not attract the attention of others, because they changed their appearance again, and Guyao squatted with a cat cub on his shoulders, but at the moment it was hidden, and others couldn't find it at all. Guyao touched the cat cub and said, "Go and have a look. Where does that guy compete? We can leave sooner if we solve it early." The cat rubbed against Guyao, and then disappeared into the darkness. The four of Guyao had just eaten something, and the cat came back. He had met Difeng, so he remembered the breath of this guy. The aura was comparable. Others are much thicker and can easily tell the difference. After Guyao fed the cat an elixir, the four of them got up and walked to the location that the cat told him. The four of them hid their breath. Although the monks were on guard, they couldn't immediately notice their approach. Looking at the building in front, the little fat man became excited first. Guyao's consciousness swept away, and as expected, he found Difeng in a room, and the scene he discovered made his eyes split apart, and his consciousness was exposed by this unrest. The action was noticed by Difeng. Go, Chi Changjai rolled up Guyao and swept over the building, waved a few array plates, and then the three of Guyao were well trained and took their places, and the four elephants quickly formed an array to surround the entire building. Difeng quickly became impatient the moment he noticed it, and there were people who didn't have long eyes to disturb his cultivation, and no matter who it was, he had to pay the price. This person has always had a high self-esteem. At the beginning, he even ignored the direct descendants of the elder Yuan Ying, so how could he have thought that the competition would be attacked by Gu Yao and a few people, and the speed was slow, and people were already rushing. Not going out, trapped in the array. Who is coming? Do you dare to tell me your name? Difeng was really angry, and his whole body was full of evil spirits. He could be trapped in a mere formation, and at the same time he ordered the men who were trapped together, break the formation for me. Gu Yao's clear voice sounded throughout the entire formation, as if it was everywhere, and he couldn't tell which direction it was in. Didayu is not looking for our whereabouts everywhere? We are taking the initiative to come to the door now, don't you welcome Didayu? It turned out to be you, good. Very good. Knowing that I was looking for you, I brought it to the door myself, so don't even think about leaving. Difeng felt that he was greatly humiliated, and his expression became clear. Don't be like a worm who only knows to hide in the dark, come out and fight with me if you have the ability. Gu Yaoxin said that this person did not only know how to be cruel, but also knew how to use aggressive tactics to get them out, but such clumsy aggressive tactics were useless to them, and this time they came here to solve this trouble. In addition, I also want to test the power of the 4 elephants killing formation. Start the formation. Qi Changjai's cold and stern voice sounded in the sky. The cultivator, who had been busy breaking the formation following Difeng's orders, found that his environment had changed in a blink of an eye. Or in the midst of thorns and lightning and thunder, a foundation building cultivator was hit by several fireballs that fell from the sky, and he was burned to ashes before he had time to scream. The 4 of them entered the formation, so the situation in the formation can be seen clearly. This is the first victory in the battle. The power of the killing formation is astonishing. Although Qi Changjai is the main formation, they still have a certain degree of freedom on their respective sites. Qi Changjai's voice entered the ears of the 3 of Gu Yao. You guys first deal with the people on your respective sites, and Difeng will be dealt with by me. Okay, the 3 of Gu Yao replied in unison. Originally, these contacts could avoid the people in the formation, but they spread the voice out, and when Difeng heard it, it made his teeth itch with anger. Before he could react, a giant sword fell from the sky, wrapped in terrifying power, and slashed at him fiercely. Difeng hurriedly moved to avoid the giant sword, but found that no matter how much he dodged in the formation, the giant sword would follow, so he had to take out his spiritual weapon to fight, using almost 40% of his spiritual energy. Li Cai broke the giant sword, and the giant sword returned to sword energy and entered the formation again, but Difeng was beaten until blood oozes from the corners of his mouth. At the same time, screams could be heard from other areas in the formation from time to time. Those who followed Difeng were all his scumbags, some were disciples who were attached to him by Tai Luiman, and there were subordinates who were collected by Difeng outside. Feng has reached the point of unscrupulous practice in order to cultivate, so none of these people have clean hands, so they are completely solved, and Gu Yao and the others are not at all uncomfortable. Soon, except for Difeng, all the people were eliminated, including a monk in the early stage of Jindan, but he did not wear the clothes of Tailuiman disciples, and he did not have Tailuiman's waist badge. It is certain that Difeng's subordinates gathered outside waved his hand Qi Changjai, and the scenes that were covered up in the array were revealed again, instead of being divided into 5 areas. Qi Changjai stepped out of the dark with clear footsteps. The figures of Gu Yao and the 3 also turned from darkness to light, and at the same time, the corpses on the ground were clearly visible. Qi Changjai held the sword in one hand and walked towards Difeng step by step. His eyes were cold, and the sword energy lingered all over his body. At this moment, it seemed that the gods should not be approached, but Difeng looked a little embarrassed at the moment, and most of his body was injured by the sword energy and left scars. Even a wound was wiped by the sword energy on his face, and blood seeped out. Difeng stared at Chi Changjai closely, reached out and wiped his face. Blood was on his hands, and he put his tongue to his mouth and licked it. His smile became more and more sinister. Very good, it's not bad for Chang Xianmen. The wanted character can actually hurt me, Difeng, but the game is over, you have to pay for what you have done, haha. Difeng threw away the spiritual weapon in his hand and laughed loudly. The momentum on his body suddenly rose, and a stronger smell burst out. At this moment, he seemed to have turned into a blood demon, and his body also became a boundless blood domain. Chi Changjai lowered his eyes. It's just a so-called upright disciple of a so-called famous sect who has practiced evil methods, and Taluiman is just a place to hide filth. Difeng's laughter was even more wanton and arrogant, and a serpent-like foreign body formed of blood energy formed around his body, and he spit out snake-like times towards Chi Changjai with a fierce look. These are not real living things at all, but they were created by Difeng by ingesting others. Refined by blood and energy, it can be driven by him, and can even be attached to others to control others. At this moment, Difeng's cultivation level has also climbed to the point where Jin Dan is close to nascent soul. If there is nascent soul's perception, the secret method used is likely to directly raise his cultivation to the nascent soul stage. Even if it is only a short time, it is enough. Kill the enemy. Go. Several vicious snake-like creatures attacked Chi Changjai, with a strong smell, making people dizzy when they smelled it, and if they got on the spiritual tools, they might be polluted and lost their spirituality. However, before these blood snakes approached Chi Changjai, there was a burst of dazzling light, and then a dragon roared, and a purple dragon flew out. Wherever the purple dragon passed, the blood snake instantly melted into black smoke. Chi Changjai said coldly, "Since you know that I am a wanted person in Changxianmen, you should know that you are useless in front of me." Difeng's complacent expression froze just now. He actually didn't take Changxianmen's wanted very seriously. Now he was reminded by Chi Changjai that this person was a Leijiangziu, just like his natural nemesis. It is getting more and more ruthless. This kind of nemesis will become a big problem sooner or later if it is not solved as soon as possible. Just because you want to restrain me, Difeng said disdainfully, and then he shot more ruthlessly. Chi Changjai's attributes and combat power made him fearful. He waved his hand and rushed towards Chi Changjai. Wrapped in layers of blood mist, Difeng's figure also disappeared. That aura can confuse people's minds. Tian Firong and the little fat man felt goosebumps when they saw it. This guy's evil spirit is too heavy, so no one in Taluiman has noticed it yet? Brother Chi should be fine, right? It'll be fine. Brother Ye is trying to use this guy Difeng to hone himself, otherwise it will be solved soon with the use of the 4 elephants killing array. Full of confidence, he could have leapfrogged to challenge, and the thunder attribute plus the cold sword Chi double restrained Difeng. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 236. The situation inside the 4 elephants killing formation cannot be known to outsiders, but a cultivator discovered that the original building here had disappeared. The news spread, and many good people came to watch, wanting to break the blockade of the formation and see what was going on inside. Among them were Difeng's men. This formation could not be set up by Difeng, so he encouraged others. The monks shot together. However, there are 3 golden cores of Guyao in the formation to maintain the operation of the formation. Even if the cultivators outside make a shot together, they will not be able to break it for a while. I don't know how long it took. People outside the formation heard the sound from inside the formation. With a thunderous dragon roar, a purple sword chi jumped into the air and illuminated the entire sky, and then the sword chi plunged back, making a violent roar, making the cultivators outside the formation lose sight and hearing. Okay, after a while, I realized that I could see the scenery in front of me. The formation disappeared, and the buildings in the formation were in ruins. Among the dozens of corpses lying sideways, one of them drew a sigh of relief, because it was De, whose eyes were about to bulge out. Feng, there is almost no intact part of the body, and the Danshan was pierced by the sword energy, and the wound was still lingering with the sword energy of the thunder system. Isn't this Senior Difeng from Taluiman? How could he die? Who killed him? How cruel, they didn't even see the killer's face. Some people were afraid, but luckily they didn't break the formation. Murderers can easily deal with them. Come and see, what is here, several monks shouted loudly in another place, and at the same time, a few monks ran out quietly. As their subordinates, they knew the situation here in Difeng. The place is not visible at all, and exposing it will only make Difeng notorious. Many cultivators were attracted, and after seeing the scene, they gasped again. After Qi change I dealt with Difeng, Guyao and the others were not idle. The last thing they joined together to destroy the original building was not counted, and it would be hidden underground. All the things were exposed, and the entire land was overturned several layers. So now these monks saw a blood pool that gave off a strong smell, and there were several mummified corpses hanging beside the blood pool. These mummified corpses were obviously blood-drained, and they were tortured during their lifetime. Many monks still knew that it was Difeng who lived here, so it was impossible for this blood pool and mummy to be framed by others. Isn't that Daoist Li Xian who disappeared in the town before? I thought he was in danger outside, but I didn't expect him to be captured here. Daoist Li Xian died so miserably. Big brother, a cultivator rushed out and hugged one of the mummified corpses and cried bitterly, "It turns out that you are here, big brother, let's find it hard, big brother." The cultivator ran to Difeng's corpse with his eldest brother's body in his arms. He banged at the corpse, almost beyond recognition. After being persuaded, he asked him to leave the eldest brother's corpse in a hurry. The monk could only leave with hatred. How long has it been since Difeng came to this town, he found such a place? To say that there is no other place, no one who saw the scene dared to compare it. Difeng is a downright evil cultivator. Tai Luiman actually tolerates such a person. The evil cultivator exists, although I don't know who killed him, but they have to say, the killing was great. The four of Guyao quickly left at night. It is impossible to sit here and wait for others to come to deal with them, and they believe that the situation here will soon spread. Even if Tai Luiman wants to control it, he can't control it, because there is not too much here. Romans sighed. The monks who went to Beihe City didn't know about Difeng's death, so they went to the city lord's mansion with Difeng's identity card, and demanded Beihe City to cooperate with Difeng to capture a few fugitives. He was so happy. Difeng was nothing. Even if Beihe City gave Tai Luiman face, he wouldn't look at Difeng's face and act. He really regarded himself as a character. City Lord Lu Shao asked someone to throw the cultivator out on the spot, but Steward Lu hurried over and brought a surprising news. Difeng is dead. Moreover, Difeng actually killed a fellow cultivator for himself to practice evil methods. Difeng is really dead, Manager Qi and City Lord Lu Shao exclaimed together. Dead. Some people say that the last purple sword energy lit up the entire sky in the town. Yes, there is still the sound of dragon roars in the array, and some people say that it is very likely that there are monks with dragon blood around them. Spirit Beasts Director Lu had originally sent people to the town, so the people there reported the news immediately after the incident. Spiritual beasts of the dragon bloodline, Director Qi shook his head. It's unlikely. There is a black cat-like alien beast beside them, and a crystal snake. I think it's very likely that Daoist Chang Yes sword Qi has cultivated to a very high level. High level. City Lord Lu Shao admired it and wanted us to help spread the news. You don't have to do too much. I believe that without our push hands, Tai Luiman would not be able to cover up this matter if they do anything. It's easy for Tai Luiman to suspect their Beihe City, because Beihe City is nearby. Most powerful. Okay, I'll listen to Uncle Chi. A few days later, the four of Guyao appeared in a restaurant in a market town. They ate vegetables and drank spirit wine and listened to the conversations of other monks. Most of them were talking about Tailuiman Difeng Zishiu. This is also not Tailuiman. From the realm, it can be seen that Tailuiman can't stop this spreading momentum. If you want me to say, compared to the fact that Difeng was killed and that he was an evil cultivator, isn't that the Daoist friend who took the shot more worth mentioning? Who do you think is that Daoist friend? Difeng's strength is not weak. It's rare to see a monk who can get rid of him without making much noise and then go away without a sound. No one has seen that cultivator at all, they only know that he is a thunder sword cultivator. If you think about who Difeng is, he is an evil cultivator, and the thunder sword cultivator is not the one who specializes in defeating him, and he will die unjustly. I also heard about one thing, Tailuiman has recently arrested Lei Jiangxiu and an alchemist. I heard that this is also the person on the wanted list of Chang Xianmen's realm, and it can attract two major sects to arrest people. This thunder sword cultivator can be called a role model for my generation. Take it down, if you really fall into these two sects, will this thunder sword cultivator still have a way to survive? Have you eaten yet? Let's continue on our way. After getting the response from the others, Guyao called the guy to check out. After the town, he released the flying instrument and continued to go west. The western part of Qinhao continent is quite special. It is not human cultivators who hold the right to speak, but demon cultivators, and it is also more chaotic, but it is often the place where cultivators who have offended major sex defect. They stopped for a while near the west, entered a cultivator colony to rest, and inquired about some news by the way. Not long after they entered the restaurant and sat down, they heard a shocking news. Tian Firong asked the cultivator who was talking about the matter, "Fellow Daoist, you said that Difeng of Tailuiman was expelled from the section. What's going on here? Isn't he a disciple of Elder Yuan Ying? Even if he died, the evil cultivators were exposed, but Tailuiman didn't say anything about his removal." Haha, this little brother also knows about Difeng, but the news you know is definitely behind. Now the latest news is that Difeng is actually the murderer who killed another nascent soul elder Ji blood, and he still offers a reward. Ling is still hanging in Tailuiman. Who would have thought that the murderer was either someone else or that Difeng is so arrogant, he dares to do anything. And he killed people and walked in the sect openly. Now that the matter is exposed, do you think that nascent soul elder can spare Difeng? It is estimated that I would like to dig out Difeng's body and whip it, and then find out his soul and torture him again and again. I also heard that the Yuanying elder even found Difeng's master and had a fight in the sect. Honey, Tian Firong heard it straight, this guy is really cruel. Fortunately he died at the hands of Chi brother, otherwise I don't know what kind of thing will happen. Compared to that, the face of Chang Xianmen Yuanjing can be called a good person. No wonder Tailuiman wants to remove him. If this person doesn't die, I don't know what kind of crazy things he did in Tailuiman. Haha, that's not it, so many Tailuiman disciples applauded. By the way, even the disciples who arrested the Thunder Sword cultivator were withdrawn, and the wanted order on the Tailuiman side was withdrawn. However, then the Thunder Swordsman hit Tailuiman in the face, and it is impossible to say that he will secretly search for this person. Tailuiman is so shameless, Tian Firong gritted his teeth. Who makes these big sects consider their face more important than anything else? If it weren't for that Thunder Swordsman, how would it be revealed that Difeng was an evil cultivator who harmed his fellow disciples, which would make Tailuiman lose a lot of face? Another cultivator ran in with a smile on his face. It was the accomplice at the table where Tian Firong was chatting. He took out a jade bottle and said happily, "Look, I finally grabbed a bottle of spirit-quenching pill. Don't grab it, everyone has a share." "Oh, it's really a quenching pill." I said that the guy who auctioned the quenching pill recipe behind the scenes really helped the big guy. Otherwise, where would we buy this kind of pill? I heard that the pill is not that rare. grass, but the refining method is a bit special. So it's still those big sects who are the most black-hearted, otherwise people outside won't be able to ask for one. But do you know? I just heard the latest news in that shop. Huh? What is it? The four of Guyao also glanced at each other. The news here is really well informed. It is probably related to those big business houses. Their stores are scattered all over the place, and they have their own channels to transmit news, so it can spread so quickly. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 237. The cultivator who bought the spirit-quenching pill said mysteriously, I heard that this spirit-quenching pill is only a low-level pill to clear erysipelas, and an upgraded version has already appeared outside. It has the effect of a dozen quenching pills. Really, needless to say, the upgraded version is definitely more effective than the primary version. Everyone was very interested in hearing it, and rushing to ask. Then this Jing Chen pill was researched by Li Qi, an alchemist from Changxianmen. Alchemist Li Qi is really better than the blue, it's amazing. Tian Firong and Little Fatty heard black lines on their faces, amazing. Can an alchemist who steals other people's alchemy recipes be called? Is it the skin that is amazing? Guyao gave them a voice transmission with a smile, it's definitely not the result. Beihai City secretly launched the upgraded version, it is impossible to put the title on Li Qi's head again, even if it is not clarified now, Li Qi's reputation will not be maintained. How long? Qi Changjai continued, yes, there will be an upgraded version outside by then, but Changxianmen can't come up with an upgraded version of Jing Chen pill. Will he still be so admired by people? Tian Firong and Little Fatty suddenly looked at each other, yes, Li Qi will only ask for trouble in the end, they don't believe that Li Qi can come up with an upgraded version of the pill, even if he gets the pill, he won't be able to restore it. I believe there will be a lot of doubts at that time. How can Li Qi justify his name? The cultivator scratched his face and said that he didn't know this, but the quantity of the Jing Chen pill was not much, and the price was much higher than that of the spirit-quenching pill. But you know what? Wasn't there an island in the sea that crossed the primordial infant tribulation before, and now it has been confirmed that the person who crossed the primordial infant tribulation was Senior Zhang Jianfeng Zhang, the Taoist companion of City Lord Lu of Beihai City. Really or not? Impossible, isn't Zhang Jianfeng missing an arm? Didn't everyone say he couldn't survive the calamity? Blind, it has been confirmed by the Yuanying cultivator who went to Beihai City. Senior Zhang's 2 arms are in good condition. Senior Zhang admitted it himself. He was lucky enough to get a limb extension pill, so he has the courage to condense the baby. Well, Beihai City actually has 2 nascent soul cultivators, so I don't know if the young master of the Changxian sect still has a chance to marry the young city master. Take it down, I didn't like it originally. Changxianmen has been suppressing Beihai City, and now both parents are Yuanying monks. The young city master has such a backstage, and he must be a senior Yuanying in the future, just the boy from Changxianmen. Qualifications. It's over by pouring Jindan abruptly, and let the future nascent soul cultivator marry? He's dreaming. The 4 of Guyao were not surprised at all. When they heard the Jing Chen pill coming out, they guessed that Zhang Qinzi should successfully congeal the baby and survive the catastrophe. As expected, the strength of Beihai City has risen to them. Also a good thing. Everyone gradually shifted their attention from Difeng and the quenching pill to the new nascent soul cultivator. Nascent soul cultivator, that is what makes every cultivator yearn for endlessly, and the achievement of nascent soul belongs to this thousand-ho continent. The top-level figures not only represent the strength and lofty status, but also the nascent soul cultivator has a lifespan of 2000, and the golden core is only 500, which is limited after all. Changxianmen. Li Qi, who is famous for his quenching pill, is sought after by people everywhere. Although he has the title of being better than blue, he is still respectful in front of his master, a 6th grade alchemist. After all, no matter how famous he is, he also knew where this pill came from. Although he was a little guilty at first, with the various benefits he gained from spreading his reputation, Li Qi's mentality inevitably expanded, and he subconsciously regarded himself as the real master of the pill recipe. And the benefits are also taken for granted. Just when Li Qi was fluttering, news suddenly came from outside that an upgraded version of spirit-quenching pill appeared outside, and the name of this pill was called Qing Chen pill. I just heard the word Qing Chen pill reported by others. At that time, Li Qi overturned the teacup in his hand, and soon after, Li Qi asked his confidants to find a way to get Qing Chen pill. In fact, Li Qi didn't have to think of a way by himself. When the head of Changxianmen heard about this, he immediately got someone to get Qing Chen pill, and sent Qing Chen pill to Master Li Qi. "Master, did you call me?" The appearance of Qing Chen pill made Li Qi, who was intoxicated by the praise of the crowd, suddenly calm down as if he had poured a basin of ice water on his head. Bar. At this moment, his master Han Qi is like his life-saving straw. The 6th grade alchemist may be able to restore the formula of Qing Chen pill. As long as Changxianmen can also refine Qing Chen pill, no one can deny that he is the best. The owner of spirit-quenching pill. Han Qi glanced at Li Qi and said, "Why are you panicking? Before anyone else came to the door, you made a mess first. This is the Qing Chen pill sent by the head. I'll take a look at it, master." Li Qi instantly calmed down and showed a relaxed smile, "With master here, my disciple is not afraid of anything." Han Qi threw him a jade bottle. "Well, that's right, let's go." "Yes, master, comma." Li Qi left his master's cave, and on the way back, he met his fellow junior, and he seemed to be waiting for him on the road. Li Qi looked at the junior brother displeasedly. "If junior brother Ning is looking for the master, just go up. As I said, all this is the decision of the master and the sect, and it has nothing to do with you and me. Because Ning Hui is one of the insiders, every time I see him, I feel strange." Ning Hui raised his chin with his hands behind his back and said, "Let me guess, is senior brother trying to find a way to solve the formula of the Qing Chen pill? If you can't come up with this formula in the end, it will hurt our entire Changxianmen." I was embarrassed. I really thought that other people's things were so easy to get. You must know that Dan Fang was taken out by a foundation building cultivator. Ning Hui is jealous. Why should he be master's disciple so that Li Qi can enjoy the benefits? He is now a 7th grade alchemist, but he is being held down by Li Qi everywhere. Li Qi snorted coldly and said, "It's better to improve your alchemy skills if you have time to spare, but I know that when you went to the secret realm, you lost to an alchemist in a wild place, and you were embarrassed by the sect, and go." Ning Hui was not angry at all, but looked at Li Qi's back and laughed. He couldn't tell the truth because of the sect, but it's okay for Li Qi to be disgusted. Now Ning Hui can be 100% sure, that is Gu Yao's Dan. The teacher has come. He believed that, except for Gu Yao, no one could come up with an upgraded version of the Qing Chen pill, and now even he had to admire Gu Yao's pill technique. If such an alchemist entered the sect, how could they have a bright future? Han Qi also took out a Qing Chen pill in his cave. At first, he negotiated with the sect master to take the pill as his own. He didn't know whether it was right or wrong. He was very clever, and he used a lot of cover-up techniques. He didn't expect such a talented alchemist to appear in such a wilderness, and he actually left the wilderness by other means. That kid Yan Yuanjing really has more than enough success and more than failure. If he didn't make a 10-year agreement on his own initiative, how could Changxianmen be controlled by that wilderness? There is really no way for Changxianmen to go there now, unless the few people who come over are caught and asked for another way from their mouths. Han Qi didn't know that Gu Yao was a bit smarter this time. With the spirit-quenching pill as a template, The upgraded version of Qing Chen pill is easier to parse, especially for 6th grade alchemists. If you haven't seen the low-level version, maybe the difficulty will increase greatly. So this time, when formulating the pill recipe, he specifically asked Su Chen for help. Su Chen's pill technique was not comparable to Han Kai's. Teaching Guyao a few tricks made the ingredients of this pill more complicated and blurred, and it was impossible to distinguish the real pill. What works? Yang Muking had just returned from a sect mission when he met several fellow disciples who had a good relationship in the past. When a disciple saw him, he still called Big Brother Ying and Big Brother Mui. Brother Ying, do you know that there is an upgraded version of the spirit-quenching pill outside, but our sect has not yet been found. Yang Muking felt ashamed when he heard the words quenching spirit pill, but as a middle-level disciple of the sect, he did not have much right to speak. When Zongmen first launched the spirit-quenching pill, he also bought some, but as soon as he ate it, there was a problem with it. It was almost the same as the Qing Chen pill he got when he went to Tianlin continent. It was developed by Li Qi, and he had doubts in his heart. Later, the sect gave them a reward for the disciples who went to the Kankan secret realm, which made his suspicions even stronger. The sect wanted to seal them. Mouth. Later, Yang Muking had been very resistant to taking spirit-quenching pill. It seemed that this way he would not be able to join forces with the sect. Now hearing the spirit-quenching pill, Yang Muking, who had just received a pen harvest in the mission, felt a little more subtle, and asked casually, "What kind of pill is it?" "I heard that it is called Qing Chen pill, and the sect did not know how to do it. It actually let the outside appear first, but the price outside is too high. How can ordinary disciples like us afford it?" As soon as the word Qing Chen pill appeared, there was a buzzing in Yang Muking's mind, and he couldn't hear the sound below. Qing Chen pill. Really clear dust. And it is also under the banner of the upgraded version of spirit quenching pill. No matter how much he deceives himself, Yang Wei has no way to deny that spirit quenching pill is the pill recipe that stole the original Qing Chen pill, so now the upgraded version will directly use such a name. Another point, the appearance of Qing Chen pill, it means Guyao's pill master is here. He came to Qinhao continent, and he came from another way. Yang Muking seemed to be thinking and not very focused. The other disciples thought he was tired from the task, so he left without dragging him away. When he was about to reach his cave, Yang Wei ran into someone, and hurriedly bowed his hands. "Senior Brother Lu, I didn't expect to meet Brother Lu." At this moment, what Yang Muking thought was that Senior Brother Lu was also one of the insiders, so he didn't know what Senior Brother Lu was thinking. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 238. Junior Brother Ying, Lu Huajing looked at Yang Muking with a piercing gaze. "Did you say Qi Changjai also came here? You should have heard about the appearance of Qing Chen pill. Needless to say, it must have been brought out by Pill Master Guyao. Yes, the two of them will definitely not be separated." Yang Muking suddenly felt dumbfounded, and asked Senior Brother Lu to sit in his cave. If it was before, Brother Lu probably wouldn't have come to his cave in person, so I was a little flattered. He boiled the spirit tea and took out the spirit fruit to entertain Senior Brother Lu, but Lu Huajing was obviously indifferent to these and kept staring at Yang Muking. He was just looking for someone to talk about Qi Changjai. Now, it is difficult to find someone with him in this Changxianmen. From the standpoint, Senior Brother Yan has been detained in the forbidden area, otherwise Senior Brother Yan would be a better candidate. Could it be that Senior Brother Lu wants to leave the sect to find fellow Daoist Qi? Senior Brother Lu, you forgot that the sect is looking for him everywhere. If you let the sect master know, will Senior Brother Lu know the consequences? Senior Brother Yan hasn't come out yet. I want to challenge fellow Daoist Qi, and the younger brother thinks that the elder brother can first challenge the elder brother Yan. Although the sect did not publicize it, Yang Muking put some energy into this matter because of his concern for Chi Changjai and the others, so he could guess the general situation after a little inquiries. Senior brother Yan had a fight with Chi Changjai, and he should be a bit inferior, so he should make a 10-year appointment and take the initiative to withdraw from Tianlin continent. Even if he knew that it would ruin the major event of the sect, senior brother Yan still did it. Yang Muking also had to admire senior brother Yan, and it is estimated that senior brother Yan would still do the same thing again. Brother Lu has been unconvinced after losing to Chi Changjai, and wanted to find a chance to fight again, but Yang Wei felt that brother Lu had no chance at all. Not to mention now, he is really not optimistic at all. Humph, Lu Huajing sneered unhappily, I really don't know what the sect is doing, so what kind of thing is Li Qi? If this goes on, the sect will be messed up. What's wrong with senior brother Yan? But I think senior brother Yan may be right. I'm happy, I can concentrate on my practice in the forbidden area without bothering with trivial matters. Then he was a little embarrassed and said, I just want to find fellow Daoist Chi to discuss, who said I want to defeat him. Looking for senior brother Yan to compete? Forget it, he was a little terrified when he saw senior brother Yan's ruthless eyes. Yang Muking doesn't know what to say now. Lu Huajing is the eldest young master, and there is an elder of the Yuanying elder behind him. Lu Huajing has outstanding qualifications and is very valued by this elder, so his position in the sect is not Yang Wei's comparable. Seeing Yang Muqingguang watching him not to speak, Lu Huajing felt that his own thoughts had been seen through, and even more annoyed, he stood up and raised his chin and said, I think I should go out of the sect calendar, and since I entered the gold medal Empress Dan, how come your cultivation has not improved recently, so you want to go out for a walk, how about you? Yang Muking pointed at his nose in astonishment, senior brother, is he looking for him to go to practice with him? Lu Huajing impatiently said that he would come as soon as he wanted, and he would not wait when it was too late. Then he turned around and strode out of Yang Muking's cave. The figure quickly flew away. Yang Muking was stunned for a while, then jumped up and quickly packed his belongings. He was too stupid to go. You must know that although he has become a Jindan cultivator through his own efforts, he has no background in the section. If there is any dispute with the sect, a cultivator like him must be placed on the front line immediately. Now I don't know why senior brother Lu finds himself pleasing to the eye, and he stretches out his thighs for him to hug him. Why doesn't he hug him? After going to Zhongmenfang market to replenish a batch of supplies, Yang Muking hurriedly went to brother Lu's cave, for fear that brother Lu would become impatient and not wait for him, but fortunately he caught up. Lu Huajing took Yang Muking out to Lilian, but no one else took him. Because of the Qing Chen pill, he could see the faces of many people clearly, so Yang Muking barely managed to see it, but unexpectedly met on the road again. The stumbling block, no, saying that the tiger has raised him up is actually a worm, a disgusting worm. Good dog is out of the way, Huoming, get out of the way. Lu Huajing was very disgusted when he saw the man in front of him. Where do you want to go? If you have time, it's better to help Zhongmen track down the people on the wanted list. You enjoy so many resources of Zhongmen, shouldn't you help Zhongmen to do things? Don't forget, you have been in contact with those two guys. Yes, you dare to go against what my father said, Huoming said sullenly. Lu Huajing scoffed, Yang Muking just pretended that he didn't hear it, and watched his nose and heart. Anyone with a discerning eye doesn't know that the sect has more resources on Huoming than Lu Huajing. If it wasn't for his father being the sect master, this guy would have died in a corner, and now is this time to show off his power? Of course I went out to find clues, but what kind of thing are you? You also want to order me? Wait for you to sit in the position of the head and order me again, Yang junior brother, let's go. Lu Huajing looked down on the man named Huo the most in the section. He threw his sleeves and brought out a burst of spiritual power, forcibly pushed the person in the way away, and then walked away in front of Huoming, angering Huoming behind him. Itchy teeth. One of the two is the younger generation of the nascent soul elder, and the other is the precious son who was obtained when the head was in nascent soul. Both have high identities. However, one has excellent aptitude and the other has 3 spiritual roots. Comparing them together, Fengming is naturally the character who was trampled on. Therefore, Huoming hates Lu Huajing more and more, and often finds trouble with Lu Huajing. I don't know how many big and small things have happened in these years. However, Fengming's reputation is getting worse and worse, and he is famous in Qinhao continent in another form. Young sect leader, even though Huoming is not qualified to inherit the sect leader position at all, he likes to be called by his subordinates like this, as if one day he will be able to stand in that high position in the future, and those who have looked down on him in the past will be despised. All stepped on the flat, the surnamed Lu is going to leave the sect? If the young master really doesn't like him, why don't you take this opportunity to give him a hard time? The dog-legged man made a stern expression as he spoke, meaning either to abolish Lu Huajing or to get rid of him. Of course, they did not dare to take action, but Fengming was fine. Sheltered in the back. Huoming also showed a wicked smile on his face. Yes, let me find someone to watch this kid's whereabouts first, he'd better go a little farther, so I can start, and see what else to be proud of when this kid dies. When he returned to the cave, thinking about the gossip he heard outside, Huoming became angry again. He just saw Bai Hesheng's girl surnamed Lu. Say what? He actually said that he can't climb high, bah. Since his father is the head of Changxianmen, which woman does he want to be unworthy of? A few months have passed, and the reputation of Qing Chen pill outside has become more and more famous. Anyone who comes out with a Qing Chen pill will be robbed immediately, but this time, the auction of pill fang will not be seen again. The disciples in Changxianmen were originally waiting for the supply of Qing Chen pill from their own section as sect disciples, they could of course buy it at a lower price. Li Qi, who appeared in front of the people, actually disappeared, so there were some different voices in the sect, but these remarks were not put in the public eye. Have you heard a saying that the spirit-quenching pill was not researched by alchemist Li Qi at all? He took other people's things as his own. No way, how could such a big sect like our Changxianmen do such a thing? Who is this who poured dirty water on our Changxianmen's head? Then why do you say that there is a clear dust pill outside now, but we don't have it in Changxianmen? Seeing how long Li Qi has not shown up, what other reasons can there be other than guilty conscience? There are people who dislike Li Qi. That doesn't prove that spirit-quenching pill was not researched by alchemist Li Qi. So many alchemists out there already know the recipe for spirit-quenching pill, maybe some unqualified alchemist made some changes based on this recipe. After all, it's not the result of alchemist Li Qi, there are still die-hard loyalists fighting for it. Why don't you change it? Think it's so easy to change? If it's good to change, why didn't our sect launch an upgraded version? The more Li Qi did not show up, and the Qing Chen pill could not be released, the more suspicious it became. Even some monks in Changxianmen tried to buy Qing Chen pill from outside, and those who had taken Qing Chen pill were not used to it. Lingden. In such a situation, even the head of the Changxian sect has a headache. If Yan Yuanjing had not made a 10-year agreement on his own initiative, how could the Changxian sect have ended up in such a passive position, and the people who sent it would be useless? The genius of alchemy should be recommended to the sect earlier. What is more obedient than the one who is in control of it? At the same time, his son also came to cause trouble. If he insisted on getting the little girl from Beihe City, he couldn't understand his son. There wasn't a woman beside him who looked better than the girl in Beihe City. Have to stare at that girl? Now that Zhang Qianfeng has successfully condensed the baby, the continuation of the limbs that he used to threaten Beihe City has lost its effect. Although the two nascent soul Changxianmen have not been taken seriously, it has to be said that there are also capable people behind City Lord Lu. The operation of Beihe City has been mixed with the power of many merchants. If they want to take a tough shot on Beihai City, those merchants cannot be indifferent. Now there are clues that the Qing Chen pill was created by the Qianfeng Pavilion in Beihai City, so the two cultivators had already hooked up with the city lord's mansion of Beihai City. Sect Master Huo was very doubtful that Zhang Qianfeng could recover. It is also related to those two people, and the place where Difeng died is also near Beihai City, so those two guys must have been hiding on the side of Beihai City before. Changxian sect is facing up. Really think that if Ningying has Changxian sect, they can't do anything about it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 239. There was no result from Han Kai's side for a long time, and Sect Master Fang found another 6th grade alchemist from Changxian sect and showed him the Qing Chen pill that he had purchased. The alchemist scraped the powder and tasted it, squinted his eyes for a while, then threw the medicinal pill away and said, "Let Han Chi not waste that energy, the concealment technique inside is very clever, if it is the alchemist on the teleportation array. If he got it out, it means that behind him there is a 6th rank or above alchemist who is guiding him, and it is no wonder that alchemy is so good." Sect Master Huo was shocked. If an alchemist of the 6th rank or above, the alchemist himself has surpassed the nascent soul stage, and there has never been a cultivator above the nascent soul on Qinhao continent. The 6th grade alchemist laughed disapprovingly when he saw Sect Master Huo's frightened expression. "I suggest that Sect Master better capture that alchemist alive, the person who taught him should not be a living cultivator. I'm here, what the head wants, I'll naturally get it for you." Sect Master Huo was shocked and then turned pale again. He guessed the meaning of the words, that is, this alchemist of more than 6 ranks probably only has a wisp of primordial spirit or at most soul, but no body. Otherwise, how can such a character above nascent soul survive in Tianlin continent? If such a primordial spirit or soul is under his control, perhaps his breakthrough into the primordial infant is just around the corner. Don't worry, this sect master will definitely send more people to find out their whereabouts. They dare to destroy the good deeds of Changxian section. In fact, the benefits obtained from Tianlin continent are getting less and less, and the help to Changxianmen is not much, so blocking the teleportation array will not have a big impact on Changxianmen, but it makes Huo Zhangman annoyed. Yes, the butterfly ant-like little cultivator dared to delusionally shake the behemoth-like Changxianmen, he was simply courting death. Windy Rock City. The four of Guyao finally found a large city where they could rest. After leaving the market town at the junction, they plunged into the boundless mountains. Compared with Changxianmen and Tailuimen, the western region was more like the undeveloped primitive world. It is either lush and dense forests or rocky peaks. It is no wonder that this place has become a site dominated by monsters, because monsters are more suitable for survival here than humans. At first, the four of Guyao had the idea of using the monsters in these places to practice their hands, and slowly pushed inward. Unexpectedly, they would get lost in the forest, and they seemed to be unable to find their way in the sky and the ground. Exercising is exercise, but it also makes them exhausted. After encountering a monster with the strength of nascent soul several times, after Qi Changjai was exhausted, it was the turn of the four elephants to kill. The monster beasts were grinded to death, but the four elephants killing array was also damaged. Fortunately, Fenjian City was finally found at this time. The four of them were very embarrassed, and they all carried the slaughter atmosphere formed by the long-term fighting. The monks who were guarding the city knew that these guys were good at fighting, so they paid a nominal fee to enter the city and let them go. Into town. I found a restaurant and asked the guys to quickly serve a table of good food. After the food and wine came, the four of them devoured it before slowing down their eating. The meat and vegetables here are very rich. Tianfirong grabbed the leg of an unknown animal and said while feeding, "It seems that he has come back to life again, It's really not a place for people to stay outside. Once, they encountered a monster with the strength of the nascent soul mid-stage. If Chi-Change-I didn't react quickly and used the sword energy to roll up the three of them and run away, I don't know if they would have survived. In this way, Chi-Change-I, who turned his back to the monster, still suffered the blow of the monster, so he looked for a place to raise the wound for a long time. If the little fat man's formation level had soared some time ago, they would have nothing to do in the forest. Completely hide your breath. Chi-Change-I quietly put his relatively refreshing dishes in front of Guyao. In the mountains, except for Linguo, he ate almost all meat. When Chi-Change-I saw Guyao's expression, he knew that he didn't want to eat any more, no matter how good the taste was. Just a little taste. The corners of the little fat man's eyes twitched. Brother Kai's behavior was too incompatible with his cold image. He heard Tian Firong's words. The hardest thing is whether Brother Qi is good or not. Brother Qi contributed the most. It's not easy to protect the three of us. Tian Firong nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. Yes, yes, Brother Qi is the hardest work. Brother Qi, you should eat more. Guyao couldn't help but burst out laughing. After a full meal, I found a place to stay and sleep hard. It has been 5 days since I came out. It can be seen that I have been in such an environment all the time. Much more refreshed. At this time, only a few people had the time to take a leisurely stroll in Fenjian City. Different from the style of the city they stayed in before, the buildings in Fenjian City looked rough, and some monks walking on the streets had obvious beast characteristics, obviously demon cultivators. Moreover, some monsters with spiritual intelligence can also walk in the city, and most of these monsters have dependent forces. The monsters in this world are actually divided into two types. One is those who can activate their spiritual wisdom and actively cultivate like human beings. After reaching the strength of the golden core, they will experience the transformation of the shape of the calamity. Conversion between. One is that the intelligence is extremely low and the beast is almost the same as the beast, and it almost acts on the instinct of the beast. This kind of monster is also within the scope of hunting for the demon cultivator, and they do not think that they are the same group. The nascent soul monster that Guyao and the four encountered before belonged to the latter situation. It is different from the situation in the border zone where people are mainly cultivators and people cultivators and demon cultivators live together peacefully. There are many times where demon cultivators are the mainstay. Unless the human cultivators are particularly powerful, they wandered for a while and saw a few people cultivating. A demon cultivator acted as a guard for an untransformed monster, and another demon cultivator whipped a few people along the way with a whip, but he didn't care about the situation, including the people on the roadside. The three of Guyao were stunned, and Chi-Change-I's expression didn't change much, because in his previous realm, there were also demon cultivators who were as powerful as human cultivators. Xiu regards human beings as enemies, and there are cases where human and demon clans fight. Fenjian City itself is a demon cultivator that is stronger than human cultivators. The strongest cultivator is a demon cultivator, whose body is a stone rhinoceros. His strength is infinite and his defense is extremely strong. Even human cultivators of the same rank cannot defeat him. Although Guyao and the others were stunned, they didn't act recklessly. There are rules in one place. If you want to forcibly change them, unless you have the strength to change and make rules, you will be dragging yourself and your companions into the vortex of trouble impulsively. Especially since they still carry the wanted orders of Changxianmen, even Tailuimen may be looking for them in private. Let's go and find the shop in Jianfeng Pavilion here, and first inquire about the news here. Chi-Change-I suggested that he should find out the situation here first. Good asterisk, no one objected. The four of them strolled around for a while before they found the same decoration as the token on the plaque of a shop. This shop is not called Jianfeng Pavilion, but Qinchi, which seems to have nothing to do with Jianfeng Pavilion and Beihai City. If it hadn't been told in advance, the ghosts would have known that this was a force belonging to Jianfeng Pavilion. The development of Jianfeng Pavilion has been able to extend its tentacles to many corners of Qinhao continent, and the ability of the person in charge is also evident. The four walked into the Qinchi store, and happened to meet a few people who were asking if the Qing Chen pill had arrived. The shopkeeper reluctantly repeated to them, "No, really not, or I will leave the business and not do it. You can rest assured. I will definitely notify you as soon as it arrives." "Okay, the shopkeeper must inform us. We can pay a part of the deposit first." The cultivator took out a sum of spirit stones. The shopkeeper saw that he was so persistent, and he had no choice but to accept it first, and make money with peace. Guilty is not guilty. Fortunately, the demon cultivator does not have much demand for Qing Chen pill, otherwise, if he encounters some unreasonable demon cultivators, his temper will smash the shop. He sent these people away with kind words. When he turned around, he saw the four of Guyao. The shopkeeper asked with a smile on his face, "What do the four fellow deists need? This shop has a relatively complete range of goods." Guyao stretched out his hand, holding a token in his palm. The shopkeeper's face changed suddenly, his smile restrained a little, but it became more solemn, and hurriedly said, "The four responsible customers are upstairs, please, let's go inside and talk." At the same time, he told the other guys to be optimistic about the shop, so he led Guyao and the others to the VIP room upstairs, where the conversation would not be overheard by outsiders. He personally poured tea and spirit fruit for the four of Guyao, verified the authenticity of the token, and then took some guesses and said, "Are the four fellow Taoists from Beihai City?" Just because of the instructions above, if a few monks came over, they would be treated as guests, and the number was exactly 4. Tianfirong took a sip of tea and said with a smile, "The shopkeeper's good eyesight, he recognized our origin at a glance, and Beihai City and Kinzig have been okay recently." The shopkeeper returned the token to Guyao and said with a smile, "Because the number of tokens sent by the pavilion owner himself is not many, only 4 Taoist friends recently got it, so I have this guess. The pavilion owner asked us to try our best to satisfy the request of fellow deists. What the 4 fellow deists want to know most now is the situation outside." Seeing Guyao and the others nodding, the shopkeeper continued, "Recently, Chang Xianmen has made a lot of actions in private, destroying a lot of business in Jianfeng Pavilion, especially the business of Qing Chen pill. This time our Qing Chen pill is here. So I can't pay, because the delivery person was robbed and killed by a group of robbers on the way, and there is no evidence to prove that it is related to Chang Xianmen." But the shopkeeper dared to say that it was Chang Xianmen who instructed this group of people. In addition, there were a lot of voices, and there were several groups of forces who wanted Beihai City to trade out the Qing Chen pill, the same as the quenching pill last time. They will deliver a spirit stone that will satisfy 100 River City, and many more people are looking for the whereabouts of alchemist Yao, and the price of the bounty offered in secret is more than that of fellow Thunder Sword Cultivator Chang. Transmigration, First Class Immortal Husband. Author, North Wind Blows. Chapter 240. Qi Changjai heard a warning, and overtook him to focus on Guyao. What exactly was the idea of Chang Xianmen? Will it just be a clear dust pill? Just because the Qing Chen pill should not be so exciting, Qi Changjai was secretly vigilant. The 4 thanked the shopkeeper, and asked the shopkeeper about the distribution of forces in Fenjian City and the matters needing attention, and then took out the income that they could not use during this period of time and traded with the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper is quite happy, because the 4 of them are all golden pills, and they don't even look down on things that are too bad. They will charge and bring out good things, especially the corpse of a nascent soul level monster. Looking more excited. At the same time, I was also very shocked, knowing that these 4 people were very strong, especially Jianjiu Qi Changjai. How could it be easy to kill Difeng quietly, but I didn't expect that they were still in Jindan, so they could killing a nascent soul monster. Even if the corpse is full of scars, it should have taken a lot of time to grind it to death, but this also represents the fact that the four together can compete with the early nascent soul monks. After the four of Guyao left the store with a large pen of spirit stones and various spirit materials, the shopkeeper had to find a way to pass the matter back to the headquarters. The four of them retreated from the inn's room, and then went to rent a cave house. This is a place for monks to retreat. Most of them are built on the spiritual veins, and the price is naturally much higher than that of the inn. They have been fighting in the mountains for so long, and they need to settle down. The shopkeeper was also paying attention to their situation, and found out that they had rented a cave and then retreated. No one came out for a while. Thinking of the situation outside, the shopkeeper also admired the kindness of these four people. Hold your breath, as if the person hanging high on the reward list is not them. Everyone knows that this approach is right. Instead of worrying about the external situation, it is better to seize the time to improve your strength. You know that it is easy to do but difficult to do. Beihai City. Zhang Qianfeng calmly listened to his subordinates reporting which caravan's goods had been robbed again. Lu Yu couldn't help but hear that Chang Xianmen was going to suppress Beihai City with all his strength. After listening to the report, Zhang Qianfeng waved his hand and you all go down first, suspend the supply of all parties, everyone should take a good rest first, this time has made you hard. It's not hard for your subordinates, Pavilion Master, I'll wait and retire first. Lu Yu couldn't guess what her father was thinking, and pushed her father's arm. Father, what are you thinking about? Father, you won't tell the whereabouts of Yao Danshi to Chang Xianmen, as some stewards said, right? When Chang Xianmen was secretly suppressing Beihai City, it sent people to Beihesheng to hint at a few words, that is, as long as Beihesheng handed over Guyao's whereabouts, Chang Xianmen could let go of the past. It's not that no one is excited in Qianfeng Pavilion. After all, even if there are two nascent soul cultivators in Beihai City's City Lord's mansion, it will be difficult to compete with Chang Xianmen. Girl, Zhang Qianfeng finally smiled and rubbed the top of his daughter's hair. What kind of person do you think your father is? Are your father and your mother such ungrateful people? Don't care what they say, my father is thinking, this time a number of roots have leaked out, and the people in our pavilion and the City Lord's mansion are also at odds with each other. Lu Yu said clearly, my father said that someone was telling the truth. That's why so many delivery people on the lines were robbed. Chang Xianmen is too domineering. Father, how are we going to get through this difficult time? Just as he was talking, Director Qi hurried in and brought a piece of news. That was the news from Fenjian City, and the four of Guyao were now in Fenjian City. Zhang Qianfeng couldn't help laughing when he heard it. The four of them can really run, and Chang Xianmen wants to catch them, but it is not something that can be done in a while. If you haven't shown up for so long, your strength must have risen again. Zhang Qianfeng is the pavilion owner of Qianfeng Pavilion and the person behind the City Lord's mansion, so he has analyzed the situation of the four people in detail as much as possible. I have to say that the strength of the four people has risen rapidly. The pride of heaven may not be as fast as they are. Zhang Qianfeng felt that in addition to their own talents, they should also be inseparable from Guyao's alchemy skills. The alchemy skills revealed by Guyao might still be hidden. But here in Guyao, the situation may just be reversed. If most of the top-grade pills he shoots are top-grade pills, thinking about a monk who has an endless supply of top-grade pills to cultivate, how many people can match the speed of this practice? I don't know if Chang Xianmen is interested in Guyao's alchemy technique and the chance of appearing the best Dan, or something else, such as whether there is something that can improve the quality of elixirs. Qianfeng, City Lord Lu walked in from the outside and said with a smile, I have already contacted the principals of the major commercial houses, and they will come to Beihai City as soon as possible. I believe that Qianfeng's plan will soon succeed. Zhang Qianfeng got up and grabbed City Lord Liu's hand, smiling softly, MRS hard work. You are the hardest working person. Just after consolidating your cultivation base, you have to worry about these trivial matters again. In the past few years, Madam has withstood all kinds of pressure from outside. Now I should do my best to make Madam relax. Seeing that no one else was talking, Lu Yu and Qi Guanqi looked at each other, but Qi shook a few times. They were still there. Shouldn't these words be said in private? Lu Yu touched the goosebumps on her arm and couldn't help interrupting, otherwise her parents would get stuck and don't know when it would end. Father, mother, what are you preparing for? Why did you invite the heads of major firms? People. Zhang Qianfeng sat down side by side with City Lord Lu, and then City Lord Lu answered his daughter with a smile. Our Beihe city is still too weak, and it is impossible to hold Changxianmen forcibly, so your father thought of a way, that is to unite the major commercial firms, to form a business alliance. As long as you join the business alliance, the pill recipe of Qing Chen pill will be shared. Qi Guanqi thought about it carefully, and then gave a high five. Good idea, sir. Lu Yu blinked. Will other firms agree to it? With such a big thing, can only one Qing Chen pill be able to impress other firms? Zhang Qinzi smiled and said, I know what you are thinking about. Of course, things will not be so simple. After the establishment of the business alliance, many resources can be circulated first in the business alliance, and the most important thing is that they can unite to the outside world. Compared with the big sects, our firms are weaker after all. When dealing with the big sects, our firms often suffer a lot. Although some firms are powerful, fighting alone may not be worse than the big sects, but after all it doesn't have the deep heritage of the big section. The business alliance can communicate with each other. Although it may seem that some interests may be compromised, in the long run, it may not be able to take the lead. It is even possible to concentrate the resources of the entire business alliance to cultivate disciples who are not inferior to the big sections in the future. It can be not under the control of those big sects at all. Commercial firms have many shortcomings. For example, some commercial firms serve as cultivators. They are scattered cultivators who have paid a lot of money to bring them back. Many of them hire demon cultivators. If you do, you often won't be able to get much right to speak, and you don't have enough strength to leave the secret realm. Zhang Qianfeng felt that after he passed his ideas about business alliances to the major firms, they would not lose sight of the advantages and disadvantages. Even if they did not want to form a business alliance, they would at least send their principals over to take a look at the situation. Lu Yu was a little overwhelmed. The trivial matters of managing the city lord's mansion and Qinzi Pavilion were enough of a headache. Now she has another business alliance, which is beyond her ability. She inherited her mother's talent, but failed to inherit her father's mind, so a little distressed. City Lord Lu doesn't have such a brain either, but she doesn't think there's any need to worry. If your father bumps into these things, just leave it to your father to worry about it. Are you focusing your energy on improving your strength now? In the past, I was worried about giving my daughter a place to live. She and the Taoist companion might not be able to accompany her daughter for a long time. Now the situation is different. Their husband and wife still have a long time. Unless there is misfortune in the middle, there is enough time to wait for Nuning. Ying, letting her daughter take over the Qinzi Pavilion and the city lord's mansion has become the least important thing. Zhang Qinzi's ideas about the business alliance and the description of the previous office really moved people's hearts, so even businesses that wanted to remain neutral and wait and see came to Beihe City to participate in the discussion. The benefits of establishing a business alliance can naturally be seen. However, the disputes and differences between the various companies are also great, and it is not so easy to get along. Therefore, the principals of the various companies stayed in Beihe City for a long time. Under the impetus of Qianji, the business alliance was finally established. This has a lot to do with Lu Cheng's claim that Qianfeng has given up a lot of interests. At first, many business firms questioned whether Lu Chenzu wanted to involve them in the battle with Changxianmen and sacrifice the interests of other firms. get more benefits from business alliances. Zhang Qianfeng does not deny that he wants to gather the strength of various businesses to compete with Chang Xianmen. This is an indisputable fact, but who can guarantee that there will be no conflicts with the interests of the big sects in the future? Let's not talk about the future, let's talk about how much they have suffered in the past in the hands of the big sect, and the benefits brought by integrating all the resources will only be greater than going it alone. The couple really didn't want to occupy a high position in the business alliance. At the nascent soul stage, some resources could not be obtained through the business, and the couple could afford the resources Lu Yu needed for cultivation. It is to use the power of the entire business alliance to mutually restrain the major sections. Today is the Changxian sect, and tomorrow it is impossible to guarantee that it will not be a Tailuo section. There is no anti-thief every day.